Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to take a look at the Wallbreaker because this is basically a pretty underrated troop which is causing huge triple potential if you can use them right. And because of this we want to talk a bit more about them, but before we take a look at my first attack, it's all about what do Wallbreakers target and how do they actually work. The first thing is they always target compartments which are closed. That's like the first thing. They can target long walls as well, but I would get if I would get now into any numbers whatsoever, I think it would be way confusing. So we will take a look at the basics first. So the first thing is if there's a compartment, for example the Inferno Tower compartment, which is closed and there's a building in there, then Wallbreakers can target it. This one is once again a compartment which can be targeted because it's closed, there are buildings in there, which is all perfect. The next thing is there's a compartment as well, but there are no buildings in there, which means Wallbreakers won't target this compartment at all, which means you can plan around that. And now we get to longer walls. Let's get to this one, because Wallbreakers would never ever target anything like this, because this is not a closed compartment. You guys can see it's open over here, and this means Wallbreakers would never target this, and you have to plan around that basically. So you could open this wall, maybe this wall, or like this part of the wall, and well, those are basically the basics. And now let's take a look at this attack. The next thing is that I always see, or I see way too often, the Ramm is getting used for basically one wall, and that's not too good, because the issue with that is that you're investing a lot of stuff into opening one compartment, which is not really necessary. As an example, I just want to get into this one compartment, and that's basically all. So I do not need to invest a Ramm to get in there, because that's basically wasted. I can just use 5 Wallbreakers. I could have maybe even only used 3 to 4, but the point is that 10 troop space is way more better invested in most cases than having to invest an entire Ramm, which is not only the siege machine itself, but you have troops in there as well, which are getting basically, well, they're not getting used too well for the rest of the attack. This rage was basically wasted for regarding the damage. It was just to speed up the attack a little bit better, a little bit more. So I can start with the miners, because my miners are supposed to come in, and now you can see maybe the plan coming together. The queen is supposed to take out this part. The king meanwhile should take out the other part, and then the slammer is coming in, taking out this part, like the slammer coming onto the air defense. And now we have the miners in between, having a really nice path through the base, and this should be it for this base. But let's take a look. Queen ability is getting used. Tornado Trap is a little bit annoying, which is rotating my queen away. And the wizard tower is still standing, which is a little bit unlucky. Using a loon and a wizard to get rid of it. As soon as the loon is tanking, I deploy the wizard. But there's unfortunately the black mine, so I need to deploy my second wizard over there as well. And now I make a decision that I want to heal my healers just to keep them alive, so my queen is staying alive, which was basically wasted. My queen could have easily died over there. Just healing the miners, etc. over the bomb tower would have been probably better. But nonetheless, it's going to be a triple. And, well, that's it for the first attack. We do not want to actually watch too much of the triple itself. It's all about the Wallbreakers. Now, since we had only one layer, it's most of the time kind of simple. But now let's get deeper into using Wallbreakers perfectly. And this is going to be the next one on number 5, if I remember correctly. Yep, that's going to be Pazi. And Pazi is doing a really nice Queen Charge Hot Rider attack with 9 Wallbreakers overall. So the first thing what he's trying to do to get into the Town Hall compartment, which he could easily do with not only the slammer but the Ramm as well. But that would be a huge investment, and he has 9 Wallbreakers, which means he wants to keep going. So let's speed it up a little bit. There's the funnel on the right side, funnel on the left side with the Bay Dragon, Now everything is getting started, wall breaking in, and that's it. So far, so good. But now let's slow it a bit more down, because he will send more wall breakers in on the left side, like round about here. Quick question to you guys: which compartment are the wall breakers going to? Like, is it maybe the gold storage, or is it maybe this long compartment over here, or maybe the wizard tower? Like, what are the next things which are the wall breakers looking for? So let's take a look. CC is coming out. He has to go through the CC as well, killing that quickly, and then we're slowing down again because we want to take a look at the wall breakers. Be careful with the hound coming out. The explosion of the hound itself can kill wall breakers, and the lava pops, so you need to wait sometimes. So the first wall breaker is coming in, and the second wall breaker as well. So let's clear everything, because he wall broke not only this part of the base, the first one, and now he targets this one as well, which in the end will lead his queen not only to the core of the base, to the enemy queen, but as well to the eagle, because he can walk this entire side. And like, non-siege machine in the entire world could have opened this like he did. So really nicely done from Parsi over here. And this shows how strong those wall breakers are, and how important it is that you guys know what is the next target for those wall breakers. Because this one compartment was empty, they completely ignored the compartment and went inside of the base and went for the next compartment, which has a building in it. As an example as well, as soon as the gold storage in this compartment right here was cleared, the wall breakers decided to go for the wizard tower. So that's important as well. Meanwhile, this base is getting completely wrecked by the Hawk Riders, and this is going to be a really nice triple from Parsi. Nicely done, and well, he deserves the triple for sure with that one. Hawks are cleaning up, everything is done, still one wall breaker left, and it's going to be the next triple. But we have many more. We have many more attacks to watch. The next one is going to be on number 11, right here from Zebix. And once again, we want to take a look at the path of the wall breakers. He will charge at the top. What he's going to do, he's trying to get his queen from this point into this compartment. You could say, okay, maybe he's using his like Ramm whatever, or he could use a Ramm whatever, but that's not what he's going for. He's going for a test wall breaker, which you always have to go for, and then using his healers, and then after that the next set of wall breakers. Let's pause it over here. The first wall break was kind of obvious that the wall breakers are going for this, but now there's this compartment, which is once again, it's empty, and then there's this compartment, and obviously maybe not this, etc. So let's keep it going, and now the next wall breakers are coming in. Freeze and wall breakers. You guys maybe saw it behind of my drawing, but this next compartment is open as well. He needs his queen ability because there's a lot of damage on his queen, but nonetheless, he is getting the next compartment open. And once again, the next wall breakers, and from this point up here, the next compartment, which is still intact and has buildings in it, is this one. When he placed the wall breakers, the queen building was still standing, which means those wall breakers target this wall. Because, for example, this compartment is still up as well, but there is this building missing, which means what the wall breakers see at this point is basically this compartment. And if the compartment is located like this corner right here is closer to the wall breakers, and this is why they're going for this one. So let's get back to the attack, keep it rolling. He's putting another rage down to make sure that his wall breakers are getting through the wall, because one rage wall breaker, one max rage wall breaker, is taking out any wall in the game. Dragons are coming out, and his queen did his job at this part, clearing out sorry clearing out the eagle, going for the sweeper next and the X-bow, which is really nice, and then he can start off with his Lado. At this point it's looking really good, freezing the enemy warden, because that's taking the warden is dealing a lot of damage, and that's really nicely done right there. Next thing is he's tanking with his hounds, tanking for a slammer as well. The slammer meanwhile going for a couple of buildings at the bottom, and now his queen is tanking all of the expos, which is nice. The tornado trap is getting triggered, all of the loons are coming in. I think the rest of the attack we can speed that up a little bit. The next important thing is when you're going to attack with an air attack and you have a queen charge, always bring a couple of archers with you. You need 2 at least. If you stack them on each other, you can lure the healers over. But if you like spread them out, you won't lure the healers. You need at least 2 troop space to lure healers to a different area. And this is why you need 2 archers on the same spot. This is really important. Otherwise, it's not working. So we have one last attack to go. This is in war, I think, number 5. On number 9, let's get in there. It's from Vale, and he's once again doing a crazy charge. This time 10 Wallbreakers. So let's check it out. He's starting off with his queen on the left side. Still has his king left to deploy, so that's nice. Queen is doing her thing, another Cocoon, and so far he's clearing out the first compartment to make a better pathing as well, not only for his queen, but for the Wallbreakers as well. This compartment is cleared and Wallbreakers will never ever target it again. So the first thing he's going for is for this corner, because, well, that's just the closest next compartment for his Wallbreakers. Then after that, he's sending in another Wallbreaker, because this time this wall right here is the next closest thing. Wallbreakers are going over there, but that's not where he wants to go into. Like, his plan is to actually wall break into this long compartment behind the town hall. This is why he's breaking in here and raging the Wallbreakers so he can get even further. And once again, this charge would have not been possible without Wallbreakers. Like a siege machine, whatever, would not have opened this exact same path. So really nicely done from Vale, doing really nice work with the Wallbreakers. And now you guys can see all of the damage on the queen. He needs to rage her, he needs to use the poison on the enemy hound and the loons, and everything so far is looking really good. Even though he's not getting the queen for now, it's still looking good because, well, he has so much power still left and the queen already got so much done. Now the slammer is coming in, trying to get a little bit of damage off his queen because the archer tower is attacking her and there's a lot of other stuff shooting at her, so he wants to have less damage on the queen, and the queen could have not reached the archer tower. This is why he's starting off with the slammer that early. Using a freeze to take out to get less damage on the screen by the enemy town hall and the expo, and so far everything is looking good. Slammer is doing his thing, Warden is coming in, he's immediately starting with the minions in behind, and like I said, so far everything is looking really good. Eagle is down. Around about 40 seconds left for around 40%. That's not too much, but still, there are so many loons, and he still has a rage and a haste spell left. Using first the haste and then the rage in the back end to somehow maybe get a drop on his on the enemy queen or something like that. So looking really good, nicely done from Vale. And even though the queen is still alive, she has no chance at all, and this is going to be another triple. So I hope I was able to teach you guys a little bit more about the Wallbreakers, on how to use them. They're super important in Clash of Clans on pretty much any town level, and they're not too easy to execute. But if you get the idea of the Wallbreakers and can actually use them, it's a huge advantage over other players in Clash of Clans. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys learned something new, and I hope you guys will use Wallbreakers in your next, at least friendly challenge or even next war. So that was it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one.